हरे कृष्ण।
ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाखया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासुदेव गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। मुखम करोति वाचालम पंगुम लंघयति गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानंद माधवं श्री चैतन्य ईश्वरम। हरि ओम तत्सत। We'll start with a short kirtan to invoke auspiciousness. And I would recommend, okay, if you can, as we do the kirtan, if you can also do along, that would be very nice. And you can be on mute, but then we all can do it together. नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणी निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासुदेव गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे। जय प्रभुपाद, जय प्रभुपाद, प्रभुपाद श्रीला प्रभुपाद। श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय, जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदी, हरि हरि बोल। हरे कृष्णा everyone. So let's get started. Before starting, I want to ask if anyone has any questions from the previous sessions that we had. If we want to address anything, like, okay, maybe you may have come across something, you have a question. Does anyone have any question? Okay, if you have any question, you can raise your hand, or let me put it this way: if you do not have a question, you can raise your hand. Digital, you can raise it. Okay, okay. So I see that. Okay, you don't have any questions, so that's perfectly fine. All right. So let's get started. Today, actually, I wanted to change the format in how we are doing our sessions, and today I wanted to do something in a very new way. So I want to. This is today we want to study about the game of life. That is our theme today. So I want to share something. Let me know if my screen is visible. Okay, so so we are. This is our topic, that is discovering the game of life. What happens is, before even we get there, okay, now we all know that we are all trying to get happiness at all point of time, but somehow or other, okay, we all whatever way we seek for happiness, we come across frustrations like, okay, oh, I thought I can do this, but then I'm not able to do this, or I wanted to do this, but there are this is my aspiration, or this is what makes me happy, but then okay, that happiness doesn't last long. Is everyone able to correlate with that? Okay, maybe you can uh, raise your hands, like if that is something like what I'm saying that makes sense. Okay, yes. So yes, I see that you all can correlate with that. So now I wanted to focus on very precisely on understanding who we are, because the more we understand who we are, okay, then we can actually start correlating with, okay, how can we understand the game of like our life. Actually, this is for each of us. So let's get started into this journey together. So you see this person, he's looking at this mirror. What we are trying, you see this person, he has this different face. So we will try to understand what who we are, each of us, each of us. Okay. So with that, let's first understand what we are all searching for. Any question, anyone wants to say that, okay, what are we looking for?
Happiness and peace.
Happiness and peace, right? Any other answer? Nandini Priya Mataji said happiness and peace. I want it to be more interactive. Like, okay, if I go on talking, like, okay, I wanted it to be slightly different. What do you think, like, okay? Anyone else, like, okay? Ruchita Mataji, you want to try something?
No, I think happiness.
Happiness? Okay. Yes. Like, there is no one who is not looking for happiness. So we are all looking for happiness. The answer is correct, actually. So this is what we all are looking for. Now, let us understand, like, okay, in our this search for happiness, like, okay, we are all we are all trying to find happiness by various means. So let us see, like, okay, you see, yes, Ashoka Keshav, you are saying something?
Yes, peace.
Peace,
Peace.
peace, yes, yes. So, so happiness, yes, peace is definitely uh, peace, uh, peace and happiness. Like, that was the common answer. Like, okay, and here what happens is, when we are when we are happy, are we at peace? we are automatically in peace. So when we are at peace, we are like, oh, you know what, like, okay, I was about to meet with an accident and I just got saved. I'm at peace. I may not be I may not be happy at that time, but if we are happy, automatically it implies that okay, we we are joyful, okay. We have the inner peace. We have scaled beyond that actually. So so everyone, you see this child becomes happy when he gets this balloon. Okay, when he slightly grows up, he gets this tricycle, he becomes happy. Okay, then as this child is further growing up, like, okay, if he's a boy, he gets happiness by some of the sport activities. Okay, if he's a girl, okay, then okay, they may have like dolls or other things. Then as he matures up, like, okay, he finds a girlfriend, he becomes happy in this aspiration. He gets a job, he's looking for money. And then like, okay, once he's grown old enough, the person is finding happiness in grandchildren, okay, when they have grandchildren. Okay, so so now you can see how the measure of happiness, like, okay, within that same person's life, like, okay, is changing slowly. um, some of them, like, okay, they seek for happiness in doing some kind of fashion. um, so you can see, like, okay, different types of fashions are there, like, okay, and people seek happiness, like, okay, in this. And then, like, okay, like good hairstyle or like good dress, like, okay, some people seek happiness in doing shopping, whereas some other people, okay, they do this kind of a daredevil acts. Okay, I don't know if you have come across this, but I have come across this, like, okay, in US, like, okay, there are many people who go for bungee jumping, okay, different kind of things, like, okay, that they do. They find happiness in those kind of stunts. Okay, parachute, paragliding, okay, ocean, under ocean diving. These are some of the things like where people are looking for happiness. Okay, and then furthermore, like, okay, many people are interested in sports, cricket, okay, football. Like if you might see, like, okay, many people are, if there is any IPL also coming in, people are glued to their televisions. um, and then, like, okay, some other people, like, okay, they find happiness in intoxication and parties. Okay, if they are given intoxication, they are very happy about it. So you can see the term is the same, but the means of achieving the same. Okay, everyone is looking for happiness, but the type of happiness that each and everyone is looking is slightly different for each and everyone, right? So we are considering that the happiness means what? Like, okay, oh, if we have good food, okay, we have our own choice of food, that is happiness, right? That is our understanding of happiness. Then we think that okay, oh, if I have a good comfortable place to sleep, now in this case, like, okay, many of you may be able to correlate, like, okay, if I have a, like, we try to plan, like, okay, what do we do on weekends? Oh, let us go to a good restaurant. Or I want to go and stay in a vacation place, okay, sleeping there. Okay, we consider, we relate our happiness to these activities. So sleeping, then we then there is another type of happiness that is in mating. Okay, that is in sex life. Okay, so okay, I have a partner, and okay, having sex life, okay, that is where, like, many derive happiness from. And then there is defending in the sense, like, okay, if we consider, like, okay, where we stay, uh, in that place, like, okay, we when we look for houses, apartments in India, houses in United States, like, okay, we try to look for places where there is good security. There is a security system in place, like, okay, there is a security guard in some cases. So those kind of things, like, okay, so you see, like, we are trying to find happiness. We are considering that happiness is in eating, sleeping, mating, and defending, right? Like for for most, for actually for all of us actually. But if we look at it very carefully, then animals, they they have in this case, okay, they also have friends. Okay, and in an animal life, what happens is just give me 1 second here. Yes, they also have fun. Okay, animals also have fun. They have very nice fun that they like to have at all times. Like, okay, they are looking for fun. Animals. So you know these dolphins, they have fun like, okay, like this in the ocean. And then if you see animals, like, okay, they also have family. Okay, and I had the experience like, okay, I don't know if any of you have had dogs or any pets at home, like, okay, but I had in my childhood, and you can see that, okay, how much they're attached to their family. So, and these animals, they also find happiness in eating. Okay, you see, like, okay, when we go to the zoo, what do? We, if we want to, we try to buy some things, some items for an animal that will be interested in eating. Then animals, like, okay, they are into the sleeping, right? You see, bears, they are uh, most of the times you'll see them sleeping. Then in mating, animals also mate. And then in defending, you might see, like in India, you may have a very good experience of this, like, okay, if there are animals, if there is a dog which is in a new area, then this this dog is always barked by the other dogs. I hope uh, I hope you are all able to relate that. Many times you might see, like, okay, at night dogs barking because there is a new dog in the colony. So so we talked about this eating, sleeping, mating, and defending, these different aspects of life. These are very much common in both humans and in animals. Now, if these are common, then what is the difference, right? So if we, our scriptures say that, okay, if we are if we are just doing like eating, sleeping, mating, and defending, that means we are nothing but we are also two-legged animals, right? So that is what our scriptures is saying. So but in this case, like there's a question like, okay, do animals lack intelligence? What do we think? Uh, does would anyone say, like, if animal lack intelligence? Anyone has any take on that? You can raise your hand if you want to speak. You can just go with whatever you feel. Any one of you want to answer that? Nandini, Priya Mataji, you want to say something?
They have intelligence.
They have
And
intelligence, yes. So if we see these different animals, they also have intelligence. It's not that they don't have intelligence. Then if they also have intelligence, they have sometimes, like, okay, when it comes to eating, sleeping, mating, and defending, they are sometimes better actually in terms of, like, okay, planning. You've seen even a even an ant, right? The ant also plans for its food. You've seen that ant carrying, like, okay, such that sugar cubes. The ant carries it from one end to another. Have you seen that? And if you see, if you've seen the like I've been to South Africa, there I've seen that, okay, how the lions, like, okay, they kill and then they store the food, like, okay, they also share that with their families. So they have, like, okay, they have the rational power, they which they apply in eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. So then then if you see, human beings have advanced technologies, right, which animals do not have. Like, okay, we are talking about this spaceships now. So many devices have come. Okay, right? we are getting addicted also to many of us are getting addicted to these devices. So in these uh, in these advanced stage, okay, we have all these different advanced equipments, but what is the state of this modern persons, okay, like us? The scripture says, okay, and we can experience this, the modern person is dissatisfied, full of anxiety, stressed out, depressed, and above all, unhappy. Even though we have like the most highly paying corporate jobs and whatnot, okay, which all we have these different devices for watching sports, fashions, all these things we have ability, but the modern person is fully unhappy. Okay, and does anyone have any comments or anything like anyone wants to share? Would anyone agree? Or maybe I can ask you to raise your hands if you're able to correlate. Yes. So you're able to correlate that, right? So the modern person, despite having all of these facilities, is in this situation. So what happens is the technological advancement, they could make the man enjoy enjoy better luxuries, okay, for eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. But then the joy is in the inner core of the heart. See, the thing is, okay, if you look at it that way, all these different facilities are there, but then how is the facility helping us to become happy? That is a real question that we should ask ourselves. And for those okay, who may have joined later, okay, what we are talking about this today is we are trying to understand our own self. This topic is the game of life. Okay, we are trying to understand our own inner self, so that because we spend time on many other things, if we are trying to understand our own self, and these are based on the principles from the Bhagavad Gita, okay, when we try to understand our own self, then it helps us understand what our strengths are, what our weaknesses are, and that way we are able to live our life happily. Just give me one moment here. So look at this, okay. So if there were we know that, okay, in the human society it is very common to have riots, suicide, divorces, drug abuses. This is very, very common in the human life. So with that, okay, the if you see, if there were no riots, no suicide, no divorces, no drug abuses, then with these things, like man has become animal actually, and then there are animalistic tendencies. And with this, if everything was good, okay, how clear it would be, how nice it would be. So what is this in a human being that makes the human being superior to animal? Because they have all this different, we talked about the eating, sleeping, mating, and defending, where it is very common with what animal also does. This is where the scriptures say, ahar nidra bhay maithunam cha सामान्य एतद पशुभिर नराणाम धर्मो हि तेषाम अधिको विशेषो धर्मेण हीना pashu भी samana. So this means that, let's read it together. It means that the activities of eating, sleeping, mating, and defending is common in animals and in human beings. Okay, the human beings are considered superior only when they inquire about the higher dimensional science involving the wisdom about God, His creation, His laws, and the secret of true inner fulfillment in life. Otherwise, they are considered just like animals. So this is what our this is a quote coming from Mahabharata. Okay, they're teaching us, okay, what is the essence? Like, how can we find happiness? If you look at it, the purpose of scriptures, okay, and I will tell you, like, when it comes to myself, okay, few years back, okay, several years back, I used to think that, okay, the scriptures, Bhagavad Gita, okay, all other things. I had interest towards Mahabharata and Ramayana, but when it comes to the scriptures, understanding this, I thought this is really meant for like people who are old. Okay. Uh, and then we were in the what we understand in the modern world, we call it everyone is in this rat race. Everyone is in a rat race, right? So and in the rat race we forget, we become no matter like how fast we are, I don't know if you have heard about this, no matter if we win the race, we lose the race, or whatever it is, we are only a rat at the end of the day. We are just in that race. And even though like, okay, when we are in the rat race, like no matter who we are, sometimes we are happy and sometimes we are sad, right? I hope you are able to relate. If anyone has any comments or so, you can raise your hand actually if you have, if you want to share. Okay, I'm saying yes, you're able to correlate that. Yeah. Yeah. All others also, like if you have any comments or so, like okay, I know Raghunath Prabhu, you have you are also there. Riya Mataji, you have joined. So like please share your comments as well if you if there is anything. So moving further, like, okay, there is Mohit Prabhu, yes, please welcome. So with this, now we are seeing, like, okay, we spoke about animals and human beings, like, okay, for those who join, like just to summarize, like, okay, eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. We talked about this, and this is something which is very common in human being and animals. So where is it that is difference between the human being and the animal? Our scriptures said that if one is involved in eating, sleeping, mating, and defending, then the Mahabharata quotes that okay, then whoever that person is, if they are involved only in eating, sleeping, mating, and defending, then we are nothing but a two-legged animal. Now let's see the animal. The animal can inquire about eating, sleeping, mating, and defending only. But humans, they can inquire about higher principles. What are those higher principles? They can inquire about life. They can inquire about death. They can inquire about what is beyond life and death. They have the choice, they have the option to make the right choices in life. The human being has the option to make the right choices in life. Let's understand this principle a little bit more deeper. Let's say if we are going in a flight, right? In a flight, if you are in an international flight, you have the choice, like okay, uh, you have the choice to select, like okay, if you want to travel economy class, if you want to travel business class, you have the choice to select, like okay, what kind of drink you want. Is it an alcoholic beverage you want, or is it an just a juice that you want? You have the choice to select, like what kind of food you want. You have the choice to select, like okay, what kind of if you want to watch a television or you don't want to watch it within the flight. So in our journey of life also, at every point of life, we have choices. And as a human being, we can make the right choices of life. So moving further, so as so what are these higher principles? We talked about the human has the possibility of inquiring about the higher principles. So let us look at what these higher principles are. So the higher, so the questions could be like, who am I? Okay, does God exist? Really, does God exist? And many people might think like, okay, hey, I mean, everything is going on smoothly. Like, okay, why do I really need to care about God? So what is the secret of success? Okay, uh, finding true guide. How can I, so if we go to a understanding this, like, okay, even if we have to study engineering or medical science, okay, we go to a college and we understand that, right? We 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 look for, we put effort, okay, the education system of 12 years of education, schooling education, followed by like okay, the graduation system 4 or 5 years depending on what anyone is going for, 3 4 5 years whatever one is going for, then postgraduate 2 years. Can you imagine, one is putting like about 20 years, 16 to 20 years of time, investing that time in their education system of their life, which is maximum of 100 years. One is putting dedicated so many years of their life to find this. What will happen if one is a doctor? Okay, they come back and say, okay, you know what, I've studied all these books, I've heard from so and so people, okay, this is what in internet I I went to Facebook and I learned like what doctors do. Okay, so I am also now a doctor. They have worn a doctor's jacket. How many of you are here who would actually go to that particular doctor? Okay, so let me put it the other way around. You can raise your hand. Like, okay, how many of you are here who would not go to such a doctor? You can raise your hand. Okay. Um, Let me ask it. Like, okay, or so others are willing to go to that kind of a doctor? Uh, so here is the thing. If if we are yes, so yes, okay, I see that. So similarly, in order to understand what is the secret of success, we have to understand, we have to find the true guide that of how to be happy. Because after all, everything that we are doing is to become happy. So in um, so we looked at these. Then question comes like, okay, is there life after death? Okay, is there life after death? Who is the supreme person? Can we get whatever we want in life? Now tell me, does anyone has this question? Can we get whatever we want in life? No one has this question. Okay, I want something. Can I get that? Yes. Can we get whatever we want in life? Yes, I see. Uh, So, so this is how to achieve unending happiness. Now, I would ask, like, okay, who has this question? Okay, how to achieve unending happiness? This is a question, like, okay, if you are hearing this, like, okay, then I think this is something like, okay, we are all looking for. There is no one who is not looking for this. Okay, so if we are looking for this, then we have to really, really put our efforts in hearing this more attentively. Then, how to make impossible into possible? Who has this kind of question? Yes. So, so who wants, like, see, these are the questions. Like, okay, do do we make destiny, or does destiny makes us? Okay, are we at the are we at the mercy of destiny, or can we make our own destiny? How many of us, I want you to raise your hands, like how many of you want to create your own destiny? Because this is the science that we are talking about. Okay, so then if God is one, then why there are so many religions? Have you ever encountered this question? If there is one God, then why so many religions? We have many times we have heard, like, okay, we say, like, okay, there's one God, but then there are so many religions. Then why do bad things happen to good people? This has been a question that is very favorite to my heart, actually. Why do bad things happen to good people? Like, any of you feel that same thing? Are you able to correlate? Because if you see, there are many people who may be actually doing activities which are like terrorist activities. Okay, but then we see that, okay, these guys are happy, and there is someone who we may have seen, okay, who are close to us, who may have been uh, doing all the life, they may be doing good things, and we are saying, like, oh my, what is this? And so many much more. Like, these are the higher principles. This type of inquiry is something that is not being asked by questions, and these are all answered, okay, in our scriptures. So for those who are interested in these, like, this is the science that we want to learn. Okay, this is the journey that we want to go into. So firstly, how to make the right choices in life. So divine versus demoniac. Okay, so let's look at, in very easy understanding. You see, there are good fruits, food, good fruits and bad fruits, right? So many a times, like, okay, these are, some of them are stale food, and then there are fresh fruits, right? So let us understand that the good fruits are like positive thinking, and the bad fruits are something like negative thinking. Okay, so let's understand, like, okay, what these positive thinking are, and what this negative thinking are. This is at a very grassroots level we are getting into it. Okay, and so the positive thinking are let's look at the negative thinking first. Lust. Okay, envy. Envy is like, okay, if someone is happy, oh, let's take an example of envy. Oh, I am doing very well. I'm doing very well in my life, and I am just doing uh, like I may have got a promotion and I have a very good house. But you know what? My neighbor, he just bought a BMW, and he has bought like, okay, or my colleague, he just bought a BMW, and he had a double story house, and I just have a single story house, and I'm saying thing in my mind, oh, Abba. Right? Like that, if it comes in my mind, that means it's a test that my heart is envious. Another thing is ignorance. Ignorance, we can think like, okay, there is a lot of knowledge around. When we are in ignorance, what happens is there is a lot of layoffs nowadays. For those who are in the industry, we can understand there is a lot of layoff going on in the market now. Ignorance can be that, okay, let me just continue to do the same old thing that I'm doing, and let me not upgrade my skill, and I will not lose my job. That is ignorance. I could also lose my job. In order to stay in the market, I may have to upgrade myself, right? So so to be ignorant, so very simple example, you can see, if you have seen a rabbit, right? What rabbit does is, when someone chases the rabbit goes ahead, he he puts his face in the grass, and I'll just stop the screen share for a moment. What the rabbit does is, he goes into the grass, and it puts his head down and puts like this, and he's not looking at anyone. Inside the rabbit, what is going on is like, okay, if I don't look into it, then in that case, then nothing can harm me. But that is ignorance. If someone is running after the rabbit to catch it as a prey, then they may catch the prey, but it is the ignorance of the rabbit. So if we close our eyes, if we put our head down, and if we are not looking at things, then in that case we are in ignorance. Anger, anger is a demon actually. Anger can really harm us. False prestige. Okay, false prestige, we'll get into the details on this. Pride, attachment, okay, greed, lust, these are all negative thinking. And then what is the positive thinking? Positive thinking is like, okay, your acceptance of a guru, actually, study of the Vedas, austerity, sense control, spiritual knowledge. We'll talk about this more detail, okay, why these are positive thinking. Okay, let's keep moving. So so whole idea is like, okay, I mean, how is it that is, how can we do, how can we work smart rather than working hard? How can we work smart? How many of you like this idea? Like, okay, have you heard of this phrase, like acting, doing smart work, not hard work? How many of you like this phrase? Okay, yes, um, yes, yes, and those who really like, I see some of you raised your hands, and some of you have not raised. So I'm thinking that others who have not raised their hand, they must be liking hard work, right? So yeah, that's fine. Whatever your preferences are. Uh, so the idea is, how can we work smart? So for in order to understand this, okay, let us see, like, okay, if someone is really working hard, like, okay, what their condition becomes. And see, you can see on this, they are working hard, and they're always like, okay, completely in stress. And one who is like, okay, acting smart, like, okay, they are like, okay, always in joy, actually, bliss, right? So so that is how we have the option to actually uh, write our destination also in that successful mode. And if we really take to the right guidance, okay, from the right source. So let's move on, like, okay, so here, let's look at this. Like, let's look at like, okay, what our aspirations are. Like, okay, so if there is someone like looking at, see where the happiness. Oh, I think there is something with the problem with the sharing. So, if we are matured enough, okay, then in that case, what are the type of choices? Like, okay, and this is something very basic that I'm trying to highlight. You may have seen that people in the villages, like, okay, or those who lead ego-friendly life, eco-friendly life with family, like, okay, they're very happy in general. Okay, and if you see, even in the cities, like, okay, those who may have a lot of money, they may be rich, materially very rich, but then there is a lot of bankruptcy in terms of love. Okay, family life is in distress. Okay, there is this kind of thing, like, okay. So if you look at this aspect, like, okay, which type of life do we want to live, which would do we consider our book of life, we have to make that choices. Okay, we have to see which way we want to go. Some may not have family yet, but then okay, if you look at it, then for those who have, like, they may be able to correlate. So we will take a look, like, okay, what is the, this is called, our scriptures say this is the chariot of the body. Okay, there are five senses that we have. What are those five senses? Does anyone know? You can actually raise your hand if anyone knows like what the five senses are. Okay, yes, Soma Mataji, please go ahead.
Yeah, the five senses are eyes,
Mhm.
ears, and skin.
Yes. So I think there was some problem in the sound, so I'll just repeat it. So the five senses are, if you can see here in the horses, the pictures are drawn. Eyes, nose, then there is ears, then there is the sense of touch, and there is the sense of tongue. This is in the chariot of the body. These are the five senses. Okay, and then so we talked about the five senses, and if you see in, like, the Bhagavad Gita is saying that these are the five senses, and these horses, they're compared to these five senses, and the driver is pulling these five senses with his mind. Okay, so the mind is the one which controls these senses, and the driver is called the intelligence, and the person the person who is there, who is seated, that person is the soul. In our earlier class we talked about this, okay, our real identity is that we are all soul, and and we all have these five senses, we all have mind, we all have intelligence, and our real identity is the soul. Now now in this case, like, okay, we see that, okay, we talked about this writing our book of life. So what are those bad qualities? So like, these are in the categories actually. If we are postponing activities, and if our mood is off, we are disturbed, like, okay, that is a bad quality. It is of simple nature. But a serious type of bad quality is we get easily irritated. We are like, always, like, someone tells us something and we are totally irritated, we just shout back or something like that. There is the other serious type of bad quality is like, okay, inability in team playing. Like, we are not a team player, we just like to be a loner, like, okay, if that is the thing, that is, we don't, if we come to a team thing, like, okay, we see that, okay, oh, others are doing this, others are doing that, and like there is a problem. And a grave type of bad quality is like, okay, lacking loyalty, okay, or bad mouthing, criticizing. This is what our scriptures is saying. We'll go more into details on these ones. We are not trying to judge anyone else, but we want to go into deeper to improve ourselves. Let us not compare with others. Let us try to make a benchmark for us, for our own self, and then let us let us do a self test on, like, what my personality type is. So I want to give you a homework actually. The homework is that you don't need to tell me, okay, what the bad quality is or like that. If you want, you can share that. What are the challenges that we are dealing with internally, so that if if these are some of the things that I am dealing with, then in that case, if we share, sometimes what happens is like, okay, we are being humble, actually, we are sharing. But if you do not want to share, that's fine, but do this exercise. That way what will happen is, see, there is a saying in English that in order to find a solution, we should first know what the problem is. The one who is not knowing the problem, okay, how can that person find a solution, right? So firstly, we have to be knowledgeable enough, to cognizant enough to find out where does the problem lie. When we become more cognizant of the problem, we will start thinking of the solution. And there is also, like, you may have heard, like, okay, finding, like, when someone has identified the problem, that itself is 50% of the problem is solved there itself. So we have to do a critical analysis of us to find out where the problem lies. Okay, let's move further. So in this, like, okay, when we know our personality type, right, then in that case, we can prepare ourselves to be a noble visionary leader. Now let me ask this question, like, okay, how many of us really want to be a visionary leader? Okay, how many of us aspire to be a visionary leader, where we are not part of the plan, but we want to really put together a plan for us? How many of you really want to do that? Okay, others are not interested. Okay, okay, yes. So yes, so the thing is, like, okay, let us see that, okay, where we are headed towards. Okay, so in order to understand, we have to take this, we have to understand these qualities. Okay, and we'll go into slightly more detail in this. So there are, our scripture says that there is this mode of goodness that is called sattva gun. There is this mode of passion. So you see, this mode of goodness, in this case, the gentleman is very nicely talking, right? Although he's a boss, he's very nicely talking to this. Then there is this mode of passion, okay, always screaming, okay, always creating trouble for others, like, right? So very dominating, okay. That is called the mode of passion. You may be able to correlate. See, it's one is like understanding us, and one is understanding the people around us also, that what kind of mode that they carry, right? But we should be very careful. We should not judge others. We should understand that, okay, this is the mode that the other person is in, and then accordingly, okay, if we are hearing this, as we when we go into this journey, right, then we'll talk about how to deal with those situations also, how to deal with a person who is in a different mode. We'll come to that as well. Okay, then there is this, third type is ignorance. Ignorance is tamoguna. Ignorance means, like, this person, if you see, like, okay, always distressed, like, okay, oh, what do I do now? I have no idea, like, okay, right? They are in total ignorance. Okay, now this has happened, market has crashed, I already invested my money, now what do I do? Gone, money is gone. So so we so here, let us take some examples of this ignorance. Okay, now this is, again, as I said, we have to see where do we stand, actually. So for the person who is ignorant, the Shastra says that, okay, these are the words used: nidra, alasya, and pramad. Okay, these are the terms that are used. Like, the person who is in mode of ignorance, the person is generally lazy, sleeps more, oversleeping, inattentive, always postpones stuffs, and is dull, is always feels himself to be hopeless, is in a depressive state, in a state of, sometimes is mad, suicidal thoughts uh, come to their mind, is takes up to intoxication. Okay, is in a confused state. Okay, see, this is one type of thing. Okay, the other thing is, like, is in a confused state, foolishly talks, like, okay, is indecisive, is unable to make decisions, is feeling insecure, fearful. Then like, if something happens, they're always panicky, like, okay, suddenly they jump into the thing and they're panicky, then they're unable to think, actually. So that is the mode of ignorance. We have to try to see where we fall in. Then what is the type of person who is in passion? The mode of passion, it's called, in Shastra, it's called Sangha or Trishna. Partial thinking, somewhat of thinking is very over ambitious. Okay, to then they want to see glamour and they want to show glamour. See what kind of house I have done. I have built this nice house. See, this is my car, BMW, right? They are always into this cutthroat competition, sales, marketing, those kind of things, right? Then this all, or you might think that, okay, oh, I really want to get, like, I want to be top of the game. That kind of person is in Rajo or mode of passion. Then always in pride, I'm the best employee, like, okay, in this group. I know technologically everything well, is very easily angry, is generally an individual pair. I cannot give these things to other people. You know what? Because they can't do things. Is not a team player. Okay, these guys, like, they are just useless. I can do it better than them. You may have heard these type of things. Then they take decisions on the fly, snap decisions. They are very attached. Oh, I mean, this particular job, like, okay, or very bossing tendency, thirst for honor and prestige. I want to be number one, right? If it comes to some time back, our Nandini Priya Mataji was talking about appraisals. Oh, my appraisals has to be, I have to be number one actually in that. Envious, very envious. Can't look at other success. Okay, sees always others in a small view and sees personally himself in a very big view. And then, what is the mode of goodness? Mode of goodness is where it is called Sukham Jnanam. In this case, the person is clean, is having a regulated life. Regulated life means has a routine in life, like what they want to do, they have a routine, they follow a routine, is simple in nature, is thoughtful in nature, thinks well and decides. Before making any choices, they think well and then they decide. They're called noble, they are saintly in nature. They have creative thinking. Okay, they have realized wisdom, so they not only understand, like, okay, what is going on, but they have some realizations going on, understanding of the scriptures. Tolerance, they are generally tolerant, even though people may be treating them badly, but they have tolerance to some extent. Then there is submissiveness, they're submissive. Okay, if they are being asked to do something, okay, they'll be submissive and they will do that. So that wisdom is there. They're forgiving in nature. It's if someone is forgiving, we have to understand they're in the mode of goodness. Controlled mind, they have a controlled mind, like, okay, as you can see in this picture, like, okay, there are other people who are jumping on this person, but this person is, like, okay, controlled. There is discipline and obedience. They're very compassionate towards others, towards all living entities. They have controlled senses. They're calm and clear. They're friendly. Okay, so in this, like, I'll take a um, I'll take a pause here to understand. I want to ask here: are you able to correlate this the characteristics that I said? Like, okay, are you able to correlate with your own self and with the people around you? Like, okay, is it making sense? You can raise your hands. Okay, yes. Okay, so I'm hearing that. Yes. Okay, so basically, so yeah, so the whole idea is, like, okay, let's we can skip this exercise. Like, okay, this is a situation tackling exercise. Or we can do this also. So a capsule, this capsule, like, okay, you may have heard this. They are tired of a long distance walk, kept his baskets aside, and under the shade of a banyan tree, he slept off. And then there was a group of monkeys out there. So after a while, he got up from his sleep and he found his basket was totally empty, because the monkeys had picked up each one of them. They had picked a cap, and they were wearing this on their heads. and and these monkeys, they climbed up the tree also. That is the capsular's condition, right? So how would one behave in such a situation if one was in either mode of goodness, passion, or ignorance? Anyone wants to attempt that? If one is in a mode of ignorance, what would you do? Like, what, from what we have heard, who can tell that? As I said, like, I want it to be more interactive. That way, like, okay, you all can participate actually. So the ignorance guy is, like, confused. What will he do? You can raise your hand, like, okay, if any of you want to mention. Oh, you're typing here. Okay. Shoma Mataji is saying that okay, okay, Raghunath is saying that okay, he will kill the monkeys in ignorance. Shoma Mataji is saying he will start shouting or panic. Yeah, so yes, so yes, your answers are right, but let's look at this. Let's take a step back. So if you see the person who is in ignorance, right? Let's go back one more slide. So the person in ignorance, right? They'll feel like they're lazy actually. They'll be panicky, as Soma Mataji is saying. He'll cry, and uh, they'll feel hopeless, know what to do, and like okay, I'm done with this. Like, okay, so very confused, like as you were saying. And Raghunath said, like, okay, now let's take a step forward. Like, okay, Raghunath said, like, okay, that they may kill the monkey. Yes, that is correct. But remember, of anger was a result of which one? Anger was in the Rajoguna, okay, in the mode of passion. Now this guy, if that person is in the mode of passion or Rajo, then he will think that okay, let me kill the monkey, let me beat these monkeys out, right? Now tell me one thing, what will the person in the mode of goodness do? What will the person in the mode of goodness do? You can type it. Yes, Soma Mataji, you want to say? Okay, I can see that. Yeah, Mohit is saying that okay, the person in goodness, he he will he will accept his fate. Okay, and Raghunath is saying he will throw his cap in basket. Okay, but he does not have a cap. All his caps are gone. Okay, yes, he has his cap actually. Yes. So Soma Mataji, what do you want to say? You can say.
moment
For some reason the voice is not very clear. Can you type it, Mataji? So yes, Raghunath is saying that okay, he'll throw his. So let's, while Somamati is typing, let us see this person. Like, okay, if he is in the mode of goodness, he will have clarity in thought. He will think that okay, what can I do so that the monkeys give me my cap back? He will not lose hope there. So yeah, Somamati is writing. He will take a moment to think about the solution, act accordingly. Yes, and Raghunath gave a solution also. He said, okay, he will throw his cap in the basket. Yes, so that means like okay, see if you look at it, Mohit Prabhu also is he's saying okay, he may accept his fate. That is also true. Like, okay, in the mode of goodness, they may accept like okay, this has happened. It is already gone. Okay, that is the first state. And then okay, what can I do about it? Clarity in thought is coming. So that way, all three of you are correct actually. So that is how the person in the mode of goodness acts. So we looked at this. So now we have, now we'll talk about this personality trait. Like, okay, we looked at like, okay, Sattvic. So you see this S means the mode of goodness, and R means the mode of passion, means Rajasic, and T means the mode of Tamasic, that is mode of ignorance. So we are talking about, these are some of the personality types. First personality type is, this is Rajarishi or a noble leader. Okay, so if as we are talking about the building the leadership skill, so if we want to become a noble leader with vision, okay, then in the mode of sattva, that is as an enlightened soul, the person is noble, person is a man of perfection, love and compassion. But in the mode of rajasic, what happens is they're aggressive. Okay, like I have to meet the targets, this type of things, full of selfish drive. Okay, prone to active life. So full of selfish drive means okay, when we see other person, right, we think that okay, how can I make use of this person, okay, in for my things. Generally a team leader, okay, oh, this person is good in this skill, I want him to do this one. If he does this better, then I will also get a good promotion. We may come across this type of people. This is typically nature of a commercial businessman. Okay. Then Then there is tamasic. Tamasic is generally lazy, sensuous, inactive. Okay, so this is generally like criminal or lawbreaker. That kind of thing is tamasic nature actually. So, but within this, like, okay, if there is sattvic and rajasic mix is there, then that is the characteristics of a noble leader with vision. So who actually who thinks and who also applies that. That person is assertive. He stands for principles and values. Just give me one moment here. So next is now tell me this one. Like before we even go to this, for all of you, you have seen this one. Like we saw the mode of sattvic, mode of rajasic, and mode of tamasic. Now we are going to talk about items that boost mode of goodness. Okay, how many of you? Let me ask this question to you. How many of you want to develop this clarity in thought process? Right? Uh, yes. Thank you, Nandini Pramaji. Yes. So, how many of you really, really want to develop that clarity in thought process, which will help us completely focus on whatever we are doing, completely crystal clear in what we are doing? I'll give you one example, a real life example of a devotee, okay, whom I saw so much clarity in thought, okay, that I was really blown away. Like, okay, this is few years back. I'm talking. This is a doctor, okay, and at this point of time, I'll take you back like to year 2018. It's something that happened in my own personal life. This is a devotee, a doctor. His Grace Adi Gadadhar Prabhu. Okay, he is a uh, but at that time I did not know like about his devotional aspect. I knew him of a doctor, and someone really introduced me to him, and that he was introduced to me at a time when my father was in a serious crisis of health. He was almost in a practically in a state. He was diagnosed with multiple diseases, uh, and uh, and at that point of time, and I can share that also. He had a situation where he had severe blockage in his heart, and he also had cancer. My father is out there actually. He's in the audience here right now. Now, this is a serious combination for those who do not know, because what we were told by the doctors is if you operate on the heart, right? If you operate on the heart, then what will happen is it will take for some time after the surgery to heal. And by the time the cancer will spread in the body and he has to die of cancer. Okay. And he will have to really suffer very hard and he has to die. And if you operate on, if you really work on the cancer, then what will happen is if he has to, if you have to do a surgery was required for his cancer, if you do a surgery on his cancer, then his heart is not good enough to support his surgery. So because of that, what will happen is he will crash on the surgery table while he's being operated for cancer and he will die immediately. Now, you can understand the sensitivity of the situation. And in this case, we have to make a decision. This is the opinion of 10 doctors in India and US. And at that point of time, I reached out to His Grace Adi Gadadhar Prabhu. Some devotee was very kind to connect me to him. And I did not know him personally, but all just in a, he was in a meeting or something. He was checking his patients and he just told that, okay, can you send me the reports? He asked me to send the reports and I sent him the reports. Now, if you can see that these are like a lot of reports, like, okay, that you have to send. So it took me like couple of hours to upload all these reports, so many things, and then I sent it out. And he gives me a call back in 30 minutes. He tells me, so your father, I've seen that, okay, he has these problems. Are these the sequence of events that has happened in his life, in his diagnosis? And is he doing this? Is he doing? And he asked me some question. Is into these things? And I could see that, okay, I sent him the reports. He was telling me just like what we call it in Hindi as Janam Patrika. He was actually telling me, okay, what may have gone into the journey of this. And that too in 30 minutes after looking into so many reports. I was really thinking that, okay, how is it that this person, this doctor, look, I just sent him so many reports. It would take an ordinary doctor to go through so many reports for such a long time. How is it that, okay, he looked through so much and he calls me back with what the patient's history is, although I did not tell him anything also. My dear friends, what I'm talking about is about the clarity of thought process. If we understand this point, this is the mode of goodness. Okay, when one is fixed up in the mode of goodness, they have very crystal clarity of thought. So let us see that, okay, what are those items that boost this mode of goodness? So first one is association of saintly persons whose heart are filled with positive qualities of love, compassion, devotion, etc. Now, in some cases, like, okay, we may have some family members who may have these qualities, who may have these positive qualities. They are very loving. You may see some people, like, okay, if you go to their place, they're very loving. Okay, they have a lot of compassion for others. They will not scream at others. They are very careful about even insects, animals, other animals also. So this is one important quality. Like, this is association of such people and saintly people, definitely. This boosts the mode of goodness. Then second is study of books, study and application of wisdom books. Okay, those books which give wisdom, right? That way, like, we can also get those knowledge, okay, those wisdom. And third is chanting and meditation. Fourth is diet and exercise. In that diet, like fruits, milk, grains, cereals, what kind of diet? Like, okay, vegetables, natural products, sanctified karma-free diet. Okay, anything that does not give us karma, anything that does not give us bad karma, that kind of diet. Okay, these are the items that boost the mode of goodness. And fifth is very important, environment, avoiding unfavorable ambience and accepting a spiritual ambience. See, if we are in an ambience which is like, okay, very uh, which is very much not favorable. See, let me give you a very small example. Okay, I like planting. I have tulsi plants at home. So, and I live in Michigan. Michigan is a very cold place. Okay, winter is very rough. Most of the winter, okay, or at least a major part of it, is very close to 0 degrees centigrade or even below that. It goes to sub-zero. But in order to grow a plant, it needs sunlight. It needs um, ample water or right quantity of water. So it needs good humidity, right? And also it needs like the nutrients also. Now, when we when it is winter, I bring my plants home. I mean, I bring them indoor, and there when they are cultivated, I see that, okay, how much important is giving the right environment or that environment for the cultivation of that plant. So similarly, in our heart also, if we have to grow the seed of goodness, then in that case we have to give it the right environment. So now let us look at some of the facts actually. So you can see this Harvard University research reveals that mantra meditation leads to a relaxed state of mind with alertness. Now, you will see that, okay, we can make the best of the decisions when we are in a relaxed state. If we are already in the run for many things and someone is saying, hey, what do I do about this? What do I do about this? Hey, this, like in the office, someone says that, okay, hey, what kind of decision can I make? And I'm already running for another meeting. I'm already late for this. Can I really give him a good answer? Or in the family, like, okay, here maybe you can imagine like one is on the phone, like, okay, oh, the boss is like blasting this guy, and then the wife is telling, okay, oh, you did not bring my that thing, and the baby is crying there, like, okay, in that state of mind. can really one think that, okay, oh, what is the right thing, like, okay, oh, and maybe after the boss has blasted this guy, like, okay, suddenly there is another call where he has to make a decision on which is the right solution that the company can implement. Can he really can that person really give the right answer in that case? So we have to understand, like, okay, the brain wave frequency, like, okay, in the terms of cycles per second. Okay, so the the top notch, like, okay, or let's start from the bottom, like, okay, if one is like, okay, totally drowsy, like, okay, in this, like, okay, either sleeping or maybe in intoxication, if they're in the drowsiness zone, then in that case cycles per second is 3 to 8, like, okay, cycles per second. If they are very hyperactive, like, okay, oh, I have to get this target, this, that, like, I will do this one, or very active zone, like, okay, they are in 8, somewhere 13 to 18, like, okay, but in between, it is called alpha zone, or the relaxed alert zone. That is what we get using mantra meditation. This is a benefit that one gets by mantra meditation, to be in that right optimal zone. Optimal is the right word actually for that. So I know we want to stop here, but at this time, okay, I will ask, okay, that we reflect on these points, okay. I wanted to cover few other things also, but then we ran out of time. But at this point of time, I'll stop here. we'll go into this journey, okay, as we go along, but I wanted to do it slightly differently from what we did earlier, and I thought, like, okay, I was just thinking about myself, okay, as a person, I really relish if something is more in the audio visual pattern. So if you can just share what your experience is, like, okay, do you like this space, do you like this way of sharing, is it helping you understand it better? If you can share your thoughts, comments, like, okay, or anything, like, okay, if there is any area for improvement for me, please do let me know, and then we can take it accordingly. So with that, I will stop here. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So yes, so can I ask you to raise your hands, like, if anyone wants to share anything?
Guruji, can you hear me?
Yes, Raghunath. Yes. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Guruji. How are you?
I'm doing good, Raghunath Prabhu. How are you? Very good to see you, Prabhu.
I'm fine by Krishna's grace, Guruji.
Very nice. Very nice. So you have a question, Prabhu? Or comment?
Yes, Guruji. I just want to say thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing all valuable knowledge, and I would politely request you to share those PowerPoint slides that you shared today.
Sure, Prabhu. What I'll do is, like, the PowerPoint slides, they're still under making. I'll definitely share that. They're still not fully made. Like, once it is fully made, then I can definitely share
Okay.
that. And
Okay,
what
Guruji.
is, I
No
can
problem.
share this video, and then, like, that slide, like, okay, once after we complete this session, I'll share the entire thing. They are still in the process of making.
Okay, no problem.
Yes, definitely.
Okay. Hari Bol, Guruji.
Hari Bol. So yes, Nandini Priya Mataji. Okay. So Nandini Priya Mataji said that, okay, it was wonderful session. I've learned many. I like this way of session. So would you all agree that, okay, yes, Ashoka Keshav Charan Prabhu? Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Oh,
Prabhu, Dhanavad Pranam.
yes, Hare Krishna. Yes.
Yes, Prabhu. Actually, this session and with the audio visual, with the slides, it was really helpful. And the way it was explained about different personalities, the different modes of nature, and persons in different modes of nature, that was very like clearly explained, so I could understand them very easily. Something that was very easy to uh, digest and also analyze where I stand myself, which mode of nature. So thank you so much, Prabhu, for giving these realizations with this wonderful class. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna. So this is all glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. So by the mercy of Guru Parampara, and I think there is a very, as we move further, okay, the idea is okay, if you all like, okay, maybe I can just take a quick vote also, okay, how many of you would want to proceed with this type of session? Okay, okay. And for the rest, Raghunath Prabhu, is that okay with you also? Okay, fine. All right. So then in that case, we can continue. Yes, thank you, Mohit. Anyone else wants to add any comments or any questions? Anything that you want to share? You can unmute and you can share if there is anyone. Mohit Prabhu, you want to share something?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. This is I'm joining the live session after a long time. It was this way of presenting. I really like it, and I was able to understand many things clearly. So,
Very
just want to thank you for sharing all the knowledge that you have. That's all.
Hare Krishna. This is all glories to Srila Prabhupada and our Vartaman Guru Parga, because this is all the mercy of the Guru Parampara. I'm just a very insignificant instrument, and I'm happy that okay, I'm able to serve all of you. So Mohit Prabhu, where are you based out of?
I'm in Bangalore right now.
Okay, I have heard about the most amazing service that you have been doing, okay, for Shoma Mataji, okay, for the music thing, okay, and your skills are being glorified, okay, so much actually. So, all glories to you.
No, nothing as such. I just whatever ma'am is my inspiration. So
when you are
yeah.
putting your skills in the service of Krishna, it is very, very pleasing to Krishna. That is very, very pleasing to Krishna. So I'm very, very honored with your association.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. And I can stop the recording here, but I have just one question for all others, okay, who joined a bit late. So this